louder.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we're hopping right back into the C6 Corvette today. So in the last video we got the aperture panel glued on here. That thing is solid, ready to go, but now we basically just need to actually finish the fiberglass work on this little chunk right here. If you didn't see that, basically put some tape and laid some fiberglass mat, put some fiberglass resin in it to kind of build out this thing, but now we actually need to build it up with some filler and probably another little bit of this this actual stuff too. So there's also some other cracks in here that I'm gonna fix. All that stuff, a little bit of stuff going around the edges. We have a new hatch for it right behind there, and then some more little cracks and stuff in the fiberglass over here. So I'm just gonna get to work on that and see if we can get this thing actually looking like a Corvette by the end of this video. Right, buddy?
How you doing?
So yesterday I was messing with this whole quarter panel quite a bit, and then also doing some body work on or helping out with the S14 a little bit. But so basically what I did is, you can see I have a lot of tape right here. So I went ahead and just taped the door, and then kind of did a back mask, like flange essentially, to where the door was flat, or like in the door jamb the tape went in, so that when I did put the filler in there, it didn't just like, you know, waterfall into the, you know, or kind of like blow out into the door jamb. So got this all pretty close, pretty decently shaped. Now I need to start actually messing with some of these cracks and stuff, doing the fiberglass from the back side of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff scuffed. There's a bunch of little spots like that kind of all the way around this thing, and I think for that I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull off the quarter panel. So in order to do that, I gotta pull off the rear bumper and do some other stuff. But yeah, the door jamb is actually looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and open this guy up so you can see that's basically my door jamb. And then this is actually, I already have it all cut, so it should be able to just come right out. So these are those Carbon Creations like front fenders that just fit. I don't know, they're flexed weird. They have like a weird springiness to them. So like when you actually try to put them on there, they're kind of dipped in a sense. But either way, I wish we would have you know, found another Z06 fender for this side. But I'm gonna actually go ahead and put both of the Carbon Creations fenders on it, because I don't want one side to look like this and one side to look like that. And we are gonna end up wrapping the car. So gonna work on getting this quarter panel off so I could actually get that thing repaired, and then I guess just start moving on to try to get some more body panels on this thing, get this thing kind of straightened out, lined up, and actually looking like a Corvette. And then we pretty much have to tear it all back down, because we got to do a bunch of engine and transmission stuff for it too. So we got a brand new windshield in this thing. So the dash was kind of doing some little wrinkly stuff in there. You can't really tell through the windshield, but you can see. I think it's weird because this thing, it looks like a Chevy Cobalt, like plastic dash underneath it, and then they just glue some leather on it, which I guess makes sense, you know. But anyhow, got the windshield in it, so that's one less thing that we have to worry about for the beginning of Drift Week. Got this quarter panel all fiberglassed on the back side of it. All that stuff drying up real good. It's been sitting for a couple hours, so now I'm actually going to start doing a little bit of filler and stuff on the front side of it, fixing all this stuff. The hood actually had some weird spots in it too. I thought it was only had a little crack right here, but I think somebody actually like jumped on it. So it's cracked there, there, and over here. So I went ahead, just got that stuff all fixed up too. So we shouldn't really need to do much more with the actual fiberglass mat. If you guys do want to do this yourself, basically what you have to do is just scuff it really good, tape the front side of it. So you can see, if I didn't tape the front of this, all this resin would have came out the front. But since I taped the front, it kind of held the panel in place. Now we could kind of scuff a little bit more around here and then blend in all this stuff with filler. So the vent is kind of looking okay. It's kind of weird looking right now. I did go ahead and actually order a new set of vents, so I'm probably going to hold off on completely shaping those until they get in, and then we'll just wrap it really quick. Yeah, this jam right here has a bunch of weird stuff, so I back taped it on the inside of it, and I'm just going to use the filler on the front side of it, and then possibly pull off the fender and fiberglass the back of it later, depending if I have time or not. But again, we are not painting this car. We are going to wrap this car, so if something does kind of do some weird stuff, I could always pull it back off and I guess fix it later and then end up painting it. So, but it's nice to have windshield and stuff in it. Stoked about that. Need to get this hatch off of it and replace it with the new one, which is over there, has a glass and everything in it too. So lots of little things. Start messing with the fenders, fitment. But man, we just got lots of stuff to do. Just getting her done. Brother stopped over here. He's got the proper shirt on, right?
Yeah, that's right. Dude, this thing has came a long way since we picked it up.
It has. It's came a really long way.
This is something to be proud of, man.
And then this fender, man, I just had to build that whole piece right there.
Yeah,
so
like I said, it's looking nice. Something to be proud of.
Not too bad. Man, Ronnie with the positivity today.
Dude, I'm always positive. You know that.
Just positive guy. Positive guy over here. guys. So this thing is actually looking a little bit like a Corvette now. Don't really know exactly where we left off in the video, but man, just been thrashing on this thing, doing a lot of stuff. So did lots of body work to that little bottom section to get that whole thing figured out. Had to fiberglass and just do tons of stuff to get it actually correct, or at least close to it. Bunch of body work right here, up here, all the way along all these little edges and a bunch of little stuff. So got all that stuff in primer, and we are going to vinyl wrap the car. So I was just doing a quick little test with it right there, and I think the vinyl will hide a little bit of stuff, so we don't have to go super crazy. So I'm basically just going to leave it in the high build primer after I wet sand it. So I'm just going to wet sand it with 400 grit and then just vinyl right on top of that, and that should give us a nice smooth base to kind of go with. There was a little weird spot right here, but obviously we'll sand all this stuff out. Put the hatch on it. Did actually a surprising amount of body work over here too. I didn't really think that this section was that bad, but ended up having to do a lot of stuff to get that actually looking all right. But again, just hit everything with high build primer, just to fill in some of the sand scratches. And again, we will just sand that stuff with 400 grit. So I was doing a little test section with some vinyl wrap right here. So this is just some black gloss vinyl, actual wrap vinyl. So it has the little air release stuff in it. But there was kind of a weird little thing with the fiberglass right there, because I almost needed to build it up just a little bit more than I think the body line actually needed to be, just because the way the fiberglass was chipped. As soon as you actually sand the fiberglass itself, it just kind of gets like hairy almost. And so I went ahead and vinyl wrapped over that just to kind of test it and see. And I think it's actually going to be okay. So then fitting these Carbon Creations front fenders, man, these things they're something else, I tell you what. For how expensive they are, you know, they're not that great. I mean, they're gonna work for me for this trip, but honestly, after this trip, I just want to take these things off and almost throw them away. But yeah, so they do have a little bit more of a wide to them. This whole piece right here just doesn't really look correct to me. It looks like it just kind of dips down, whereas the Z06 one actually kind of follows this line and almost kind of flares out right here. And actually looks really aggressive. So I don't have anything holding up this headlight right now, so it's just kind of resting in there. Front bumper, I'm actually missing this piece that goes from right here to the actual support. So once I get that in there, the bumper will actually sit a little bit better. Headlights, I'm not 100% sure if we have some other headlights on order. I'm not sure if they're going to be here before we leave for Drift Week, but the theme that we're going to go with on the car, I think these will actually work for now, so that we might be all right. But yeah, I went ahead and I fitted the Koenig wheels on it. Those are the wheels that were actually off of the Mustang for the last Drift Week, and it works out really well that having these little spacers, they're about a 1-inch spacer to adapt from the Corvette bolt pattern to a 5x114, which is like what the 240s are, actually puts them out pretty much flush with the fenders. So, pretty stoked on how the wheels actually fit on here. Like I said, once we get the coilovers on here, actually get this thing setting down pretty low, it's gonna look really good. So overall, just made a lot of progress, but there's still so much stuff left to do. As you can see, we do have the vinyl wrap basically ready to go. Garrett's gonna come out this next week and help with that. And I'm supposed to actually be leaving for Drift Week on Tuesday. So basically 2 days from now, and the car is how it is. So I don't know how far we're actually going to get on this thing, but it's definitely nice. This is the most complete it's ever been, or at least that I've seen it. So definitely nice to see. We are going to be doing. A lot of people have been talking about the Ls7 Head Fix. These Ls7s had an issue where when they pushed the valve down, it basically put tension on it sideways, I guess, so it would kind of like grind it into the valve seat or the valve guide, and you would drop valves on these LS7s. So this thing does have 17,000 miles on it, but that's just an issue that they have. I mean, it could happen 10,000, it could happen 100,000, 200,000. A lot of people, I think it happens, you know, between basically 30 and 80,000, which is, you know, probably when these things are actually starting to get tracked and stuff. But hitting the limiter, doing all that stuff is no good for them, especially doing that. So we actually have some cylinder heads, and a cam package from Texas Speed. We also have a center force clutch. We have some exhaust, we have seats, we have steering wheel, we have vinyl wrap, we have an angle kit, we have a radiator. We just have so much stuff that actually needs to go on this car within the next couple days, and it's basically Sunday night at 10 o'clock. So I was really trying to get this thing painted, and didn't end up happening, so I'm also trying to paint that thing at the same time. So just lots and lots of stuff that needs to happen. But overall, pretty stoked with the progress on this thing. It's nice actually kind of seeing it. These fenders are getting close to being officially mounted. Need to fit a couple little things with the headlights, but once I get the bumper bracket, that'll help out a lot. But again, we do basically have to yank the engine, transmission, and fully wrap this thing as well as doing a bunch of other stuff. So definitely crazy, but it sucks that, you know, when I get in these modes, the videos kind of suffer just because I start working so hard. But hopefully you guys didn't mind this little ramble at the very end to just kind of get you guys up to speed. But really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, because I don't think there's anybody else on YouTube showing you guys how to freaking fix a dang Z06 quarter panel, you know, basically molding it from scratch. So, yep. Oh, we got a new windshield too. Yeah, that was one thing. Windshield, hatch, all that stuff. So, getting close, boys.